Then we'll call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Record the members present.
Wilson, Kirkpatrick,
Here.
Babcock,
Here.
Reed,
Here.
Morris.
Here. Next is the statement of consent agenda. The following items may be approved in their entirety by the board upon motion made, seconded, and passed by a majority. Any member may request a separate vote on any or all items contained in this consent agenda. So, if nobody has anything in the consent agenda, I make a motion we approve that.
I'll second it.
Kirkpatrick,
Here.
Yes.
Babcock,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Morris.
Yes. Item 4 then is informational reports. A is superintendent's report.
Timberlake, we'll leave here at 4, ish, get there by 5:30 for the meeting and leave. I think we're usually done by 8:30 and head back. And that's out on the 16th. And I'm supposed to be at the ORS conference. I don't think I'm going to end up making it this year. I didn't make it last year, but I don't see it at the moment. I don't see a need on their proposed schedule of something I really need to go and be at. I'd rather not be gone, so I'm probably not going to be at that. And that's what I have.
Awesome. So cross country, we've had 5 meets and our students attended 1 5K so far this season. The 5K was this last Saturday. They went over and ran it for the Northwestern's homecoming. Shay Wilson actually got second in all the females over there because they just did females and males. They didn't do age groups. And she came in second out of all those, so I thought we did really well. Max actually came in 4th, but they only gave medals to 3rd, so wanted to mention him as well. The others all did well, came in above several other people, so they're getting really well, good at it. We have regionals and state left. See if anybody qualifies for those and ends up going to state. It would be really interesting. They've improved their times every time they've gone out, and they just keep working hard and getting better, so it's good to see and watch. Sorry, I guess I'm losing my voice. Fall Carnival, Fall Break, and Red Ribbon Week are all coming up. The Fall Carnival is this Saturday, October 13th. The dinner and silent auction will begin at 5:30, and the carnival games will begin at 8. Fall Break is next week, October the 18th and 19th, so there's no school those 2 days. And Red Ribbon Week is October 22nd through October 26th. I have Mrs. Wilson and Miss Kennedy setting up specifics on what we're doing those days. We ordered a bunch of supplies for that, so they'll be getting bracelets and ribbons and pencils and all kinds of things, but they're setting up what they will do each day. Like there might be a day that they wear boots, and one of the stickers says boot drugs to the curb or something like that. That's not exactly what it says. So they're setting all that up for us, so we'll be able to celebrate that and hopefully get some kids to realize how important it is. Our Veterans Day program will be Monday, November the 12th at 1 o'clock in the auditorium. Mrs. Teep and her leadership class are actually creating that this year and putting it all together, preparing for the day. They've already prepared flyers and put those out. I don't know if you guys have been out anywhere and noticed them yet, but they did a really good job with the veterans and the emblem that they used for it. It looked really slick.
I saw a posting on Facebook.
Yes, it was on there as well. So it's the same one that they put around town. Mrs. Smith made sure that it got put on Facebook, so that's why that's on there. She was requesting veterans, different people in the classes to say who the veterans were, and if they could come, please show up. We'd like to have them in attendance. And then Mr. Weber and the FFA students will be doing the luncheon for them again this year. So that's it.
All right. Item 5 then is general. First item A is discussion and possible action to approve the contract with Cure 3 for pre-bond architectural services.
Flip through, it will be blue. Now this one was something you've seen multiple versions of along the way. So it'll be kind of in the middle of your document.
You're in the right section. Back off, you're in the right section.
Keep going.
What section? The blue?
In
Kind of
document
purplish.
section, kind of a tealish greenish Yeah, keep going. Keep going, and then after that big pack right there, that's all the policies that we
Closer.
did. Keep going till you see blue.
Oh, I
The
see
page
blue.
is blue.
Yeah, you'll see this blue strip.
There you go. It says Curve 3 at the top. Blue strip on the right.
Right there.
We got this, I guess the 4th. It was last Thursday, last Friday, something there. Asked them to put it down more specific for us. The pre-bond architectural work, these are max prices not to exceed. So if the hours or the scope of work is less than what we originally believed, the amounts will be billed less. It's for actual build work. If you look there at the bottom, prices are shown not to exceed amounts. Curve 3 will invoice for our time and expenses upon the figures shown. This is the scope of what we've asked them to come and do for our pre-bond services. And this would be owed to them passing, a bond passing or not.
And any of these that we don't use, we just subtract.
Correct. Anything we don't do, so in the architectural work, one of the things that I told them, if we don't need a rendering, which is the pretty version of a drawing, if we don't want that, that 1,500 is off. If we only want one person to do one on-site visit, that will lessen the amount of presentation, deliver, and support bond issue meetings from the 3,000. It'd be less, whatever that time exactly is. So it's up to us to tell them what we want and not want, but we do have control over it since we're going this direction, which I'm appreciative they spend a lot of time doing this and putting this together and giving us that flexibility.
I like it for its flexibility.
Then, I make a motion to approve the contract. Curve 3 architecture.
Kirkpatrick,
Yes.
Babcock,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Morris.
Yes. Item B, then a discussion and possible action to establish a bond project committee. I think we ought to do that, just review it. Call some people and get it put together. So I will make the motion that we establish a bond project committee, or must have Mr. Miller get a committee together.
I'll go ahead and second it. After he gets his committee together, then we can see who's all on at that point. Okay.
How many do you need on the committee?
4.5 when you find one midget.
I wouldn't think, 3 to 5 members would probably be plenty, wouldn't it? Is that what you guys think?
I don't think there's an exact number.
Or maybe 6.
You know, just it needs to be.
Well, 6, you can just have a tie vote.
Yeah.
Well, the committee doesn't vote. They have no
No.
voting power, no nothing. They are an input
Recommendation.
to put a report together and present to you. Here's what we've discussed. That's all a committee does. You actually have the voting power. They don't.
So this committee's gonna be doing what?
The plan for the committee is to go through, get as many opinions as we can, talk about different projects, what projects there are, what things we should look for in a bond, what things maybe don't need to be included. Just get a good consensus, get that community input and feedback of what we're doing. And
They
then
are
present that.
lifeline to the community, though.
I'm sorry?
They are the lifeline to the community.
They are our link to
Okay.
hopefully give you guys some information.
Is there a recommended time that, once the committee is selected,
I wanna have at least a report, I wanna have as, by next board meeting. I wanna, in a month, I wanna, as best we can, but that will be.
Meeting and they need to look into it and make their recommendations.
At least to have something to you by next board meeting, it may not be final, but at least something to you by next board meeting to know what we need to do next.
Alright.
You'll be looking at like what we think, what we've got, okay, hey, this is what we think, that this, you know, the committee will do that, you know, see what kind of stuff they think we need, or if, hey, that's, looks like a good deal, and go from there, correct?
My plan with the, once we get the committee together, is just to hand them a list of everything that anyone's ever told me about. And say, if they don't have something of their own first. And work through those, work with Kerr, I've already talked with them, about being available, so that we can have some of those discussions, about what, some things may not be feasible. You know, there may not be financing available, or get some of those details worked out. Say, hey, this is really what we'd like to do.
But this committee, since they'll be talking to a lot of public, they also be trying to sell the idea of the bond.
I don't think that's the job of the committee, is to promote this. It's just to give us that feedback, give us that discussion. Try to help us engage with the community.
If it's done right, hopefully they will end up doing it.
Getting
Right.
input from the community itself is a boost.
Right.
Ready to vote?
I'm ready to vote.
Kirkpatrick,
Yes.
Babcock,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Morris.
Yes. C is discussion and possible action to approve E-rate C2 network needs.
E-rate has a program, we've been on it for however long E-rate's been around, but we've always taken advantage of what they call Category 1 funds. I know I've talked with you along the way of things we need network-wise. We are in year 5 of C2 pilot program. It has not been re-approved for next year to start another period, so we have about $19,000, depending on what numbers come back this year, available to us. But when it comes, we will have to spend 25 to 15%. We don't know what that number will be until the application gets approved. I want to go after these funds to fix our network, a lot of our network needs. But I wanted you to know before we go after these that we will be on, there will be a vote coming up for those exact items once we get what they call a 470 approved, what that cost will be. But it will be somewhere between 15 and 25%. We'll have to pay out of local funds. But to get the other 75%, I think it's a good deal, especially with the things we're needing. I did provide a document in your pack from the FCC. It should be the very last document, so if you want to open the back, it says public notice. No, I took that part off because I only gave you the part you actually needed. Very last thing stapled together, Category 2 items. And you can kind of see down there, right in the middle of the box, says eligible broadband internet connection, antennas, cabling, caching, firewalls, routers, racks, switches. You could probably mark any one of those and we need it. We have more needs than we do funds, but that's how it goes. I'll be working with Bank Central. We've already been working on this, but we will request everything we can possibly think of on there, and then select the actual, once we get the bids back, the items we actually want or can afford with the budget we have. So.
I make a motion we approve E-rate.
I'll second it.
Kirkpatrick,
Yes.
Babcock,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Morris.
Yes. Item 6 is financial update on district investments.
if you watch the economy, we know that the feds keep raising interest rates, and we discussed that along the way. I did want to, if you'll open your treasurer's report, tab first page, worked with David, because we were receiving 1.6% interest rate on our investments. That's now at 3%, and we have that locked in until 2022. How this works is we're going to adjust how we pay bills. We're going to try to start switching to operating more like we have no reserves, and let that money stay in these CDs so it grows longer. So we're going to start delaying some purchases till we start getting our November, December tax monies in, so that this money stays and grows. And in November, David's going to have to go back out, and November, December, go back out and buy another round of bonds and a round of CDs, and we're hoping that the rates will be higher then. And when that happens, we'll switch into those. So I'll be working with Patricia in the office and changing a little bit how we purchase some things so that we can keep that money growing for us now that the rates are high enough to make it worth doing. At 1%, it's not much of a benefit. At 3-4% now, we need to start watching that to allow that fund to grow, and let it grow. Not hurt the district in any way, but delay some things.
So right now it's at 3%, though, right?
Right now we're at 3%, and we're hoping that when we go back out to bid again, or not bid, but to go out and purchase the next round, it'll be maybe 3.5%, 3.75%, 4%. We're going to hope it keeps doing what it's doing, and we'll take advantage of it. But if it drops down, we stay at 3. So.
Cool. Any questions on that?
And good, anything for getting more interest money.
Yeah. Well, then item 7 then is new business.
None?
Then, Patricia, we got stuff we need to sign?
There's 2 there.
You get to sign checks tonight. If that is it, then item 8 is to adjourn. I'll make the motion we adjourn at 7:20.
Second.
Kirkpatrick,
Yes.
Babcock,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Morris.
Yes.